Tonight we're talking about the death of small business in America. Think about your first job. Your first job, most likely, you worked for a small business. Has a poor person ever given you a job? Yet, somehow or another, we're eating the rich. But not the uber rich. We're helping them get even richer. We're just helping eat the person that actually probably gave you your first job or somebody like that. This next two segments, I just want you guys to address two people. Anybody in Washington that has power, tell them what you want them to hear. And two, if anybody has anything to say to the American people that you think they don't get it, they don't understand, or please help us, this is what you can do. Who wants to start? Yes, ma'am.
I will. At the risk of being lynched in this crowd, I want to just say as a sidebar, absolutely the government should be supporting the National Endowment for the Arts, because do you understand that every dollar spent in the community that the National Endowment for the Arts spends is exponentially supports small business. The best thing that the governments can do
you know they're
is reinvest.
funding porn?
They're
funding porn at the National Endowment for the Arts.
And it's Shakespeare porn?
I'm all for operas and symphony
He
orchestras.
means actual boom chicka boom chicka boom. We're not talking about Shakespeare porn. It's real porn.
Let
me ask you this.
We absolutely need the government to pay for it.
We need the government to pay for that. Is the government paying for your business? Is the government paying for your business? Is the government paying for your business? Do you help out the communities that you serve in? Do you help out the communities that you serve in? How about you, Carmines? Do you help out the communities you serve in?
Preclude the government from supporting.
Where do they get not the money? Where do they get the power, Judge? Where do they get the power?
They claim they get the power in the Constitution. They have exceeded the Constitution and come up with ridiculous bases to justify their having the power.
Okay, let me go to Steve. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, just if I could agree with the judge, who's one of my heroes. It's beyond the National Endowment for the Arts. Our government routinely, and you know this, Glenn, almost everything they do nowadays is unconstitutional. So this whole mess here is rooted in the fact that they kind of make up the rules as they're going along. They just think something is a good idea, so they say, let's do it. I mean, all these bailouts, they're constitutionally dubious at best. National Endowment of the Arts is an egregious example.
You know what? Look, you want the National Endowment for the Arts? Fine. But how about the, $700 million that we've just spent on wild horses? Our country is burning down to the ground. We need to make some priorities. I say Sesame Street isn't brought to you by the letter A. How about Sesame Street is brought to you by someone who actually has money to pay for Sesame Street? Yes, go ahead.
My question in Washington is, you can't solve this problem yourself. Let small business help solve this problem. Give us credit, give us a chance, and we can help the country get out of this mess. We don't have to wait for a stimulus package. We don't need cars and cash for clunkers. Let me have cash for cannolis. I'll go out and I'll open restaurants and create jobs.
Let me ask him, how much credit would it take to open a new restaurant for 225 jobs, you said?
For us?
How much would that take?
We would need a credit line maybe of $1 million, something simple as that.
Wait.
A job.
Hang on just a second. How much would it take to open up a new restaurant?
Okay, when we finance a restaurant, we do our own money, and we take credit. So you're asking what's going to cost me to open a restaurant, or how much I want to borrow?
How much do you want to borrow?
I want to borrow around $1 million.
Okay,
$4,000 a job. They could create a new job with. Compare that with
the stimulus. It's like $400,000.
Yeah. Right. Now let me ask you this: if you open a restaurant in Texas or in trying to think of another state that doesn't have taxes, Florida.
Yeah.
How much does it cost you to open a restaurant in Florida as opposed to New York City, where the regulation, the taxes, the everything?
We're fortunate we do well in New York City, but we're expanding. The only place we feel comfortable expanding, I know, but I'll tell you, you'll laugh. The only place we feel comfortable expanding right now is we're opening Washington, D.C., because they're expanding government. That's where there's money to be spent.
Washington is.
So that's where we're opening a restaurant.
It is. And can we remember, our elected officials, can we remember that 37% of workers, 42 million people in this nation, work for employers that employ 100 employees or less in this nation? That's a huge percentage. I have been working, my partner and I, with a 24-year retired Air Force veteran, served this nation for 24 years, willing to put her home on the line as collateral with equity, to open a business, cut her business startup cost from $147,000 to $40,000. She's still being turned down. Opened a fruit stand to sell 3.2 million tomatoes over the next few years to make her dreams happen. And so we're helping her try to raise funds and so on, use every source of credit possible. Family and friends are reluctant to loan today. That used to be a very good source of income for small businesses, for startup money. People need to understand that small businesses are being drastically affected by all of these concerns, and a lot of people that want to put money into research and development, marketing, advertising, and so on are holding back to see what the heck is going to happen here. And until we know.
Okay, back in just a second.